Welcome to 2021. Let's get it done. And now that it's 2021, there is no turning back. And if this year is as bad as last year, fuck it, I'm still going to have a good time. Let's go ahead and get the little bit of legal and stupidity out of the way. YouTube doesn't want you to be here if you're under the age of 21. I don't want you to be here if you're easily offended. Simple as that. Enough said. Thank you for playing. Anybody who has stayed past that has basically given their opinion that it's okay if I might accidentally offend you, even though I do it pretty easily and pretty regularly. Or that you're perfectly okay with a channel that's based upon smoking of tobacco products. And if you don't like the tobacco products, it's just one more reason why you should leave. Today, let's see if we can get this in frame real well. There we go. La Imperiosa Corona Gorda. Realistically, it's a Toro. It's a slim Toro. And if you're looking for the makers, look for Crown Heads out of Nashville, Tennessee. They were established MMXI. You do the math. Probably 2009. Some of my favorite cigars come out of this place. Can't tell you how much I love this one though. And I'm going to give you a little clue of what you are looking for if you're looking for this one. You're looking for a blue band with a... Well, it's not going to work for me. Alright, can't get it to refocus. It's trying to stay focused on my face. That's fine. Howdy, Todd. Happy to be here. Hopefully you are too. For those of us who can tell, it says La Imperiosa, Nicaragua. There is a crown on it in a sky blue background. You find this cigar, you have found a treat. I'll give you a little bit of the background. According to the sources I have, and I've talked to some people, not just a few people, but a lot of people, this is the blend that was the 2014 Las Calaveras. And to keep it around, because of how tasty it was, they said, okay, well, we'll keep it around. And we'll keep it around because it is so tasty. So that's what you're looking at. One of my absolute favorite blends that has ever been produced. Ever. We're not talking about sort of, maybe, kind of. And yes, I have said before, my go-to is the black market. The reason for my go-to being the black market is I do enjoy that cigar. It's got a certain, just right down the middle, nothing major great, but never anything bad. It has just the ability to be a really good solid stick without being pretentious or having you have to make decisions about thinking about it while you're smoking it. This is not one of those cigars. You're going to want to think about it while you're smoking it. It is going to be one of those cigars that you're going to be like, damn, did I really never get this cigar before? It's seriously going to end up being one of those cigars. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. Now, if you hate it, please get back to me. But get back to me with what you hate about it. Look, if it's not to your flavor profile, I can accept that. I really can. That's not a problem. If you want to tell me that your flavor profile and mine do not match, I accept that 100%. There is no way I can tell you that my flavor profile should be everything that everybody else should follow. But if it's anything other than your flavor profile that's telling you this was not a good stick, then something about it pissed you off. And I want to know what it was. If it's construction, I can probably point to the B&M that you bought it from, or the shipping from whatever customer of some B&M you bought it from. But if you're getting it from like JR Cigars, Sirius Cigars, or Cigar International from an online store, and they've shipped it to you and they've pretty much guaranteed that their product is going to be right, no, this is not going to be a bad stick at that stage. So there's got to be some reason, if you don't like this stick, that you don't like it. And I want to know. I really, really want to know. And it's not because I want to tell you you're wrong. No, your opinion is just as valid as my opinion. But my opinion is that this is a damn good stick. It's hard not to like. I've only smoked a couple hundred of them. Figure something that you keep going back to, something that you pick up and you just like, man, that's a tasty stick. There's got to be something there. There's few brands out there that I really, look, I'll tell you right now, straight out. If you want to know about cigars, try these brands. Try these labels from these brands. If you're new to cigars and you don't know anything about cigars, I will tell you to try 5 cigars. And I'll even give you the top 5 cigars that I could give you to try. And I'm going to tell you, if you can't find a cigar in those 5 that has at least something that you like, then you're probably just not going to be into cigars. I mean, and if every one of those cigars, I mean, because I could give you 5 different cigars right across the board. One that's super light, one that's somewhere in the medium, one that's really peppery, one that's leathery, and one that's super strong. I mean, if I gave you 5 cigars and I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just smoke them in this order. Well, there's a reason why I would tell you to smoke them in that order too. It's because I don't want you to be destroyed on the first one and throw the other 4 out. But I worked in a cigar shop. I mean, I know what I'm talking about when I'm trying to tell you, hey, look, get certain cigars. Now, I'm going to tell you the other side of that. If I was trying to sell you a cigar, I would want to know about your flavor profile. What do you like to eat and drink? What have you smoked before? What did you like about those? If I ask you 20 questions and I get honest answers, I can probably dial you in pretty quickly to a cigar that you're going to at least appreciate. Maybe not love. Okay, I'm not going to tell you that I'm the best at this. I will tell you I was pretty damn good at it. I know some people that are actually better than me at this. It's not even a question. But guess who I learned from? Come on. And if you try to figure out who I learned from, I'm not naming names. But every time I met a cigar genius, I asked questions. And yeah, there are some cigar geniuses out there. They know more about, they've forgotten more about cigars than I'll ever know. Used to sit around at a shop before COVID. It was 6 miles from the house. I could walk there. Not even a question. Met some cigar geniuses. Other thing I will tell you, something that you will want to find out and know about. If you take the time to go in and sit around at a cigar lounge, you're going to have some good friends. Now, of course, we got to wait until COVID pretty much ends for this stuff to happen again. But what have I found out? Since I started doing live streams, working in a cigar shop, taking time to actually get to know these people, I have found that people that smoke pipes and cigars are some of the most reflective, calm, sensible, and sharing people in the planet. Now, maybe that doesn't make any difference to you. Okay. But I'm telling you right now, I could talk politics with people who hate my politics. But if we're in a cigar shop and we're talking politics, we're both having a cigar, and we're able to sit there calmly and actually give the other person time enough to get their thought out there before just jumping in and blah, blah, blah. Now, yeah, there's going to be people at each and every shop that you can find that's going to be, you just can't get along with them. I tell you, there's a few I've met at really good cigar shops that I just can't get along with. But I still get along with them while we're in that shop. I wouldn't stop to piss on them if they were on fire out on the street. But while they're in that shop, they're friends and family. So real quick, just in case anybody else is out there watching, today's video will go as long as this cigar or until Chad shows up. That would be Yardism if y'all are looking for him. Normally he's on about 55 minutes from right now. For me, it's about 5 minutes after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Chad's one of those shows you really, really should almost always try to make some time and see about. And he runs for 3 hours, so I'm going to tell you, finding a little bit of time to come in, sit down, and enjoy his show, that should be pretty easy. Do you like music? Do you like smart, knowledgeable people? Yeah, you'll probably like his show. If you hate music, something wrong with you. Everybody likes music. You know, they say it soothes the savage beast. What? Are you deaf and therefore you can't hear music? I know deaf people that like music. They can turn up the bass and they can still feel it. So, back to my original statement on that. If you don't like music, there is something wrong with you. Okay, do you not like Chad's music? Well, you know, okay. Not everybody likes the same music. Okay. I agree with that. It happens. Oh my God, it is Martin no longer breathing fumes over a pipe, who stayed up long enough to celebrate New Year's Eve in the Central Time Zone. And what he doesn't know is that I was recording all of that on my tablet right off of my phone. So even when he edits certain things out, I now have a blackmail tape from hell. Actually, no, I didn't. I just felt like saying it, Martin. How you doing, brother? Hopefully the hangover is treating you well. Oh, I'm sure it's real. Now, was it hugging the bowl and praying to Ralph that you would never do it again? Or was it just that your head's spinning a little bit and you need like 3 bottles of Gatorade and a trip to Waffle House? Come on, you can tell. For anybody who's not paying attention here, Martin at Over a Pipe, who should be on right at about 8 o'clock my time, which will be 9 o'clock on the East Coast, and will be 6 o'clock on the West Coast. Good man, Martin. Anyways, he hung out from 9 o'clock last night until 1 o'clock his time at least, actually a little bit later than that. And he runs one of the most entertaining shows on YouTube. Hands down, absolutely one of my favorites. Could be the reason why I am now a hot match. I hung in there right up to the very end with you, Martin. The show was great, Martin. It was hilarious. And allowing people to tell you one shot every 10 minutes was brave. Very, very brave. And man, that's some guts, because I know what you were drinking too. I will also say your wife drinks better than you do. Not mentioning names. Not mentioning names. I will tell everybody that your name's Martin. I'm not going to tell you where he lives, but if you follow his channel, you'll find out soon enough. Of course she's German. Start calling her Nurse Ratchet. No, I won't. Anyway, Martin's got himself a trophy wife. Anybody doesn't believe that, you need to take a look at him and then take a look at her and realize that she's much prettier than he is. All right, they both got me beat. I got a face like a foot. The face of radio. But yes, anybody who's out here and who has the chance and opportunity to hang out with Martin over a pipe every Friday, well, almost every Friday, major technical difficulties and malfunctions pending, I'm going to tell you, you're going to enjoy the heck of it. Now, you got to be able to appreciate a dad joke every once in a while, like every show. And you got to be able to appreciate the fact that he's doing the best to raise a son that is going to make guest appearances every show. And, well, you know what? If you don't like that, you probably don't like me anyways, because I'm going to tell you, his show shows you some good parroting, and sometimes it shows you some of the trials of being a parent. But yeah, nah, Martin, you're going to make it. A couple more Gatorades, Powerades, whatever you want to call it. Now, I could tell you what will really cure it, but I don't want you to participate in life that way. But what you do is you go back and you pour yourself about that much of what you were drinking last night, and you sip on it until you either make yourself sick or you get back to the state where you were, where you felt like you were okay. Now, of course, that's a real quick way to slide into alcoholism. But it works. Now, of course, when I go do heavy drinking, they now have some enzyme shots that you can take ahead of time. And by shots, I mean like the 5-hour energy shots. Don't worry, Martin. We could tell. We could definitely tell that you did not remember actually doing Old Lang Syne. And I'm pretty certain that you're going to be editing forever to get that one out. Yeah, I know. You can just go to a certain point and chop it and say, no, that's got to go. But it was a great show. Really enjoyed it. Hey, 3 in. Howdy. Not sure who all is here. I know that Todd and Martin are. Oh, come on, Martin. Not too much work. So Martin, yes, I am a cigar guy. You will notice I keep my band on until the ash starts getting to right before the band. Wherever, like if it's one of these weird oval shaped bands, if it starts getting within the point where if you touch it with your finger and you can see the ash right there, but no more, that's about when you're supposed to start removing that band. Now you can touch the band a little bit and see if it will like rotate, but you might end up tearing up the jacket at the same time. So it comes down to you find where the seam is. Now I'm going to give you a quick little suggestion. This is the Leatherman style CS. Okay, now I do not know what CS stands for. I know that it's a very small Leatherman. It has scissors, a knife, nail file. But what I do call this is the Leatherman CS, which should stand for cigar style. Now what I did there is to take the knife, I put it right there below the band, and I loosen up just the edge. It's still together. The reason I call it the cigar style is because if you have this, you have every tool you need for the average ordinary cigar. A very sharp knife to cut that cap off. And if you have some flint, you have steel, so therefore you can at least create some way to create fire enough to light this thing. They also have a PS, which PS stands, I believe, for plane, as in airplane, but I call that one the pipe style. Let's just say if you get either one, you probably have a few tools with you almost at all times to do the little extra things that you sometimes need to do with a pipe or a cigar. I use the CS unless I'm going to fly, and then I use the PS because it's actually allowed to be on aeroplanes. It's got some little scissors. They work pretty well. It has a nail file and a screwdriver tip. The screwdriver tip actually is small enough to tighten up your glasses if you wear them. What it's also really good for, because it is relatively sharp, is digging out on your pipe. Got a little carbon buildup? That thing works really, really well. Not trying to sell you a product. Oh, it's also got some little tweezers. Hey, if you get a splinter, you get a splinter. It's always a good thing to have. One of my favorite things, though, and this one's for Martin. This little clip here can be used to open a bottle of beer. That's the drinking like it's going out of style express card. Never leave home without it. Now I will tell you that this little knife while being inexpensive, it has a very sharp edge. So when I told you it's really good for cutting the cap on a cigar, I'm not lying to you about that. I'm really telling you the truth there. Oh, Boris. Oh, wow. Huva 2021. I am not sure if ILTA is correct at this point in time. And if y'all are wanting to know how to spell Huva ILTA, I'm going to let Boris take care of that if he feels so inclined. But when you see that he writes things in Finnish here on my particular channel, I have told him to go ahead, and I have gone back and looked up various things that he's written, and I go to Google Translate. I'm going to learn a little bit. This show is a tailgate. I can learn from you, you can learn from me, we can hang out together. And there it is, Huva ILTA. How do I know that it's Huva ILTA? Well, I asked Google to say it for me, and they did. And then I had them play it for me about 20 times. And I just kept copying it. Oh, this is how you learn to speak languages that you don't know. It works for Rosetta Stone and Babbel and all those others. But you know what? You really want to speak like a native? You go get some friends that are natives to there, and you talk to them, and you do your best to follow along. Best I can tell you. Now, if any of your friends are only speaking Drunkenese, there is one certain absolute way to get there to be fluent in Drunkenese. That is to drink like Martin did last night. Because at some point you are going to get right there with them. Okay, I've got the Huva, but the Mohaisita. And I'm probably messing that up fiercely. Oh my God, it's actually it's 11:30 in Finland. If I didn't know that you were a person who works nights and are a night owl to begin with, I would just be absolutely amazed that you're ever on my shows. And I definitely appreciate you hanging out because, well, Boris and Jose, who I haven't seen on my show in a while, but Boris and Jose really, they tend to hit all my shows. I feel lucky enough to call them friends. Ooh, I'm not sure Martin has ever had a proper hangover, Boris. Now, I will tell you that one of the times while I was visiting Germany, I got a proper hangover. Never want to do that again. And the only other time I can really say I had a proper hangover was my 21st birthday. It took 6 days to recover. Six days. No, let me go ahead and tell you, I love bourbon. Always have. And somebody decided that it would be fun to get me a 1.75 liter of Turkey 101 for my birthday. That's right. Right around a half gallon. And I opened it on my birthday. And I poured 3 shots. One for me, one for another guy, one for another person. And we all did those shots. And then I took to bubbling that bottle of Turkey 101. And I kept doing it. And in about 2 hours, I had finished that bottle. So except for 2 shots, now they might have been heavy shots, so let's call it except for 4 shots, I drank a 1.75 liter of Turkey 101 in the space of about 2 hours. And yes, it took me 6 days to recover, and no, I didn't go to the hospital, but yes, I should have. But that might have been considered destruction of government property, and I don't think anybody really wanted to throw my ass in the brig that way. It was Army, and I had a really good sergeant. He wasn't the kind that was going to screw me over. I was told I was confined to quarters and that I was not allowed to leave my bunk for some sort of BS charge. And he knew what was wrong. He said that, and everybody just said, hey, that's the way you want to play it. We'll play it that exact way, and that's fine. And that's how I got through 6 days of trying to recover. The first 2, I couldn't hardly move. And yes, I did eventually go back and start drinking turkey again. In fact, Wild Turkey Rare Breed is my preferred favorite. In case you're wondering, this is a HEB version of Big Red. I don't have very many of these a year, but every once in a while I do like a cream soda of some sort. And it's just cool enough out here that I can drink it out of the bottle. It'll probably take me 2 more days to finish that bottle. I don't drink very much sodas. And I believe that we've all participated in enough drinking last night that I probably don't need to continue that train right now. Some of us participated a whole lot more than others. And as you can tell, I barely participated at all. I did have a small, about that many, glass of bourbon. Oh, Martin. Didn't call in last night. Sorry. Wife had already fallen asleep. Was laying right next to me. And it was too cold to go outside. The 2.5 hours I had spent smoking from my show into Mike's show, almost to the end of Mike's show, really, I wasn't about to go outside. So I apologize. I should have called in. I really wanted to, but didn't. probably will call in tonight if your show's up and running. I can call in, you can turn your camera off, and you can heave into the trash can while I just fill it up with pointless talk. POD? I'm not even sure who POD. But you're never going to drink wild turkey again? Martin, have you had wild turkey rare breed? Easier to get Scots. Yep. Which I'm pretty sure that Boris is basically saying it's easier for him to get Scotch. True Scotch. Oh, yeah. Now, all I'm saying, it took me about 3 years to go back to trying wild turkey. And that peppery bite that I loved so much, same thing that I love about cigars, I don't get it on very many bourbons. And, you know, I finally went back to it because I decided that it didn't kill me, and I'm not going to let it beat me. Now here I am hanging this ash out there. I will tell you that this particular cigar, the La Imperiosa from Crowned Heads, if you want to, you can create an ash that is just as long as this cigar. It will do it. You got to be difficult. But if you're going to enjoy it, knock the ash off and smoke it. It's not worth it to sit there and throw a perfectly good cigar away just because you're trying to create a long ash. So when I turned 30, I was on the road. This was back in 2004. So it's been a while. And I got placed in Louisville, Kentucky. Oh my God. I was that close to every bourbon distillery on the planet. And I went to all of them. And I'm going to tell you, I went to the Wild Turkey Distillery. Now, every day that they are open to doing this, they have a tour. And you can take the tour. And if you are lucky enough to be the only person to show up, which I was the only person that showed up. And there was supposed to be a tour, but then nobody went. Nobody went at all. So it was me and Jimmy Russell. And if you know anybody that can verify this, good. If you got anybody that wants to tell me no, well, I'm going to tell you, the only way you're going to get to do this is if you were the only person that shows up for the tour. They're not going to take 2 people. They're not going to take 3 people. They're not going to take a group through this tour. It's a one-on-one thank you for showing up. We got nothing else to do, and this is going to be quick. Well, if they've only got one person, it's going to be real quick. They've got time. So here's the tour as per regular. Regular tour. You go up to the vats where they've got their sour mash bubbling. They call it the beer stage. They tell you about, oh, you have to have this percentage of corn, and you have to have certain water, and they tell you all about bourbon. They don't get super specific on their exact blend, because I'm sure that's a trade secret and they're not giving that out. They take you into the still room. They teach you and show you these things. I mean, if you're actually paying attention, you can learn a lot. And if you're there one-on-one, instead of the tour ending there and you go to the store, and then you can buy like a bottle and have it signed by Jimmy Russell. And I don't know if that's still available, because it's been a while. And he was an old man when I went. But he decided that we were having such a good time that we would also go to the tasting room, and he would show me how he goes through the whole process of blending and selecting, and man, we walked down the racks, and it was great. And there he does his thing where he samples from the bottle, puts it in a little snifter, but he pulls 2 samples. It was only him and me. And he says, this is how we do it. Going through the whole, you smell it, you taste it, you put it in there, you taste a little bit of it. And the tour was by far the best tour I've ever been on for any kind of distillery or brewery or anything. But you only get that kind of treatment if you actually are lucky enough to be the only one there. I can't tell you any better than that. You want that kind of treatment, you got to stand somebody out at the road with a freaking tank and tell them all to turn away. You like Weller over Buffalo Trace because it is smoother. Now, having visited all of that, and I'm going to tell you, I liked the old bottles for Weller's better, that were designed and shaped to be exactly like the stills that they use. And that's the reason why I always tell people who are like, oh my God, turkey is harsh. It's ugh. I'm like, no, you got to try the rare breed, which is barrel strength, which you would think, oh my God, no, that's just going to kill me. But for whatever reason, it's smooth. It's crazy smooth. Now, I don't know if Finland can ever get rare breed, because with it being barrel strength, it's like 108 proof. And oh yeah, see, so Martin, you already know. I'm not lying about the bottles that are shaped like their stills. And yes, I actually saw their stills, and those bottles are shaped exactly like their stills. And I went to the Jim Beam the Jim Beam distillery. I was going to say factory. Anyways, I went to the Jim Beam distillery, and I got to actually dip my own bottle, which was also fun. Oh yeah, long necks, and well, these big flat, they look like a basketball that had been chopped at a certain spot with a long stem sticking up out of it. That's my favorite bottle. Of all bourbons, that bottle was the best bottle ever. And no, not exactly like a basketball, but that shape. It had that general size of a rounded shape. And I'm not saying they cut it off at the halfway point. I'm saying that it had this round. It looks like it. I mean, if you cut the bottom off the bottle, you could probably turn it upside down and put a basketball in it. $127.2 proof. Booker's is definitely good. Yep. Oh, they put a cheaper bourbon in that shaped bottle now? Damn it. And as far as bourbons go, man, I have had world class bourbons. And I had most all of them before they changed the rules, saying that you had to be from basically Bourbon County, which is not truly a county, but it's like a very small select area in Kentucky where it had to be made. And at one point in time, there were two things keeping Jack Daniels from being bourbon, and then they opened up the rule book a little bit, and now it is only one thing keeping Jack Daniels from being a bourbon. Bourbon has to be made inside the United States, has to have at least 51% corn, and I think those are realistically the only two rules now, other than you have to present a certain amount of bourbon to the Board of Bourbon Distillers, and they have to actually certify that your product, as bottled, is actually bourbon. But you have to show all the records and all of that. Getting something to be bourbon is hellaciously hard, including the amount of aging in a charred oak barrel and no filtering through any media or whatever. I mean, it's very... It is very, very difficult. And I am glad Martin is saying he's finally going to come on tonight. That keeps it going for what I'm hoping was going to happen anyways. All right, so it is 3:48. I'm starting to check on Chad just to make sure if he pops in here. And not because I don't want to continue with y'all, but if Chad comes on for his normal live, I am turning the reins over to Chad. If not, then I'm continuing to the end of my cigar. Well, if it's only going to be 30 minutes, I will still be there for 30 minutes because your son needs to have his time in front of the camera, damn it. And yes, I did mean that about good parenting. Let's see. A good parent actually takes time to try and enjoy what their children are doing and enjoying themselves. You could have been like my dad and been absentee except for when it was time to beat my ass. Oh, I know that might be a little harsh now, but it was the truth back then. I'm not even sure I was as good of a parent as Martin is. I tried. I didn't do everything all that great. Oh no. Well, I guess he can go remote again. Was that all on the Vlogger camera that he got for Christmas? Pretty impressive gift, by the way. I'm looking forward to seeing some of his channels popping up. I'll follow so that he gets some follows, but I won't be commenting on your son's channel whenever he starts it. Mostly because I'm not sure he can have the emotional security of a 40-year-old, and I might chip in there with a quip or something that might eliminate his feelings entirely, and I'm not for doing that to a kid. I do pick on Martin a little bit. Now, y'all got to remember, if I'm picking on you, it's because I think you can handle it. And because I think that you actually can handle it means I respect you enough to let you handle it. Now, for anybody who sees me on their lives and they're like, what the is this asshole doing? I'm going to tell you right now, all you got to do is tell me to chill the hell out. And I'll, man, you know what? That's fine. You don't like me cracking jokes and talking smack. I can curb me. But for those who are throwing out really great programming, and if I'm there and you see me crack a slightly off joke, it's because I respect you. Sorry. Into the mind of the Donald. And I think I was the Donald well before 45 was. I should sue for copyright infringement. I'll lose, but I should. Nobody, Martin. Your show is a comedy act waiting to happen. And anybody who doesn't understand that that show is a comedy act and it is full of gaffes and laughs and hilarity, then they have not been watching for 14 plus hours. I made it to Hot Match, so I know I've been watching for 14 plus hours. Well, let's see. I believe that the Dell offices are in Austin, Texas. And I believe after the 5th hang-up, I would be down at the Dell offices in Austin, Texas. And that until they got rid of me, they would want to get rid of me any way possible. Give me bunk product and then don't even follow through with your promise. Plus, you're wanting to claim to be a Texas product and then you're going to treat your customers like that? To hell with you. Would they know it was me? Yeah, they'd know it was me. Would they ever want to see my face again? No, and they would pay me enough money to make sure I went away permanently. And that'd be the only way they got rid of me. And here I was hoping that it was Adele the singer and not Dell the computer. But I knew when you started saying customer service that it was not going to be good. And yes, I think you should probably put that video out there on the market. What are they going to do? Send a lawyer over and tell you it's slander? But you got it on video. It's not slander if you can prove it's true. And bam, you can prove it's true. Put it out there and tell them if they want it to go away, they want you to take it down, they are going to have to pay for it. Simple as that, my friend. Simple as that. Oh, definitely get a Twitter account. And if you don't want to put your real name on it, I mean, don't. But there is no reason why you can't share a factual account based upon your actual experiences. And if they want their name to not be sullied by that whole experience, then they need to make it right. How can you, you're not fabricating it. There wasn't a cut screen. There wasn't a, oh my God, I've got to exactly place myself back in this exact spot. I mean, there it is. And yes, if their lawyers want to make it go away, their lawyers are going to tell the top dogs right away, just cut the man a check. Greg, how's it going, Greg? Good to see you. Well, to be honest, Martin, you got some call center in India. That was obvious just from the way everybody sounded. And I've been telling people a long time, as soon as I start looking into these companies, I start looking for what is their customer service rating and where is their call center. And almost immediately, if I see that their call center is somewhere over in India, I'm like, nah. I'm sorry. Yes, they speak good enough English that sometimes I can understand them. No, they don't speak good enough English that every time I understand them. And if I can't understand them, then I don't want to do business with them. I'm going to say this because it's the first thought that came to my mind, and sorry if this hurts anybody's feelings, but that would be the finish of their business if they spoke Finnish in India. I'm sorry. Some of the weird accent marks and stuff, I might never be able to get them all correct or whatever. And some of the weird ways that letters are sounded out in Finnish, It might not exactly make sense to me. And that's why every time you write something and finish in there, I go and take it over to Google, and I see if I can find it. Alright, so 4 o'clock, Chad's still not on. Still looking for him to start, just in case. It looks like we might be Chadless today. More's the pity, our loss. It's alright. I'll give him another 10 minutes or so of looking, and then if I don't see him, I'll stop looking and we'll just finish out this cigar. Yeah, don't worry about it, Greg. I don't live by the thumbs up because I've got less than 200 subscribers. That's the reason why this is the Tailgate channel. I do this for y'all. It's just a good place to wait while Chad or Mike or Steph and Skip are prepping up for their show. And it's a great way to just get to know y'all and be able to, for y'all to get to know each other, and then we can all jump over onto the show that we're actually waiting for. And just seriously, y'all make me better just by being here. And I'm not sure I really want to get to that spot where I'm at a couple of thousand people where the screen starts scrolling so fast and I've got to switch this over to a computer. If I get a job back with insurance where I'm traveling all over the state, I'm not going to be able to just pop open a computer and do this. I still got to be able to attempt to put out a show because I like doing this. And if I get another job like that, then I'll be able to put my own schedule together enough that I can say, hey, look, on Fridays by 3 o'clock, I'm done. You know, and by Thursdays at 4 o'clock, I'm done. I've got to be able to be done and able to sit down and just do this. Right. I mean, I've never had more than 14 people, and 14 people, the comments were coming pretty quick, and I started thinking, oh my God, I'm not sure I can do this. It's all right though. I'm not an interviewer. I don't take phone calls like some people. And yes, Martin, I am going to tell you, your show was Max Headroom-esque, like crazy last night. It would go, and then it would... Can ya feel the love? And I was just like, I don't know how to explain that that's what it's doing. I tried. All right, so Tunnel Take is Greg. Over a Pipe is Martin. And Greg, Tunnel Take, please, you got to show up on Friday nights at about 8 o'clock Central, which is 9 o'clock East Coast time, 6 o'clock on the West Coast, and 7 o'clock Mountain Time. Martin puts on one hell of a show. Hey, wait a second. I just got a message that Yardism just went live. Yes, Chad went live. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a great afternoon and into the evening. I have had so much fun having you on here. Please don't hold it against me for cutting this short, not that short. And I promise we will be seeing more of me here in the new year. I will be visiting all of your channels that I can. Hope to see you soon, and hopefully it'll be over there on Chad's channel here in just a couple of minutes. As per always, as I always like to say, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I'll see you soon.